down here. Open the meeting with a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call for this.
Smarter.
Here.
Mazer.
Here.
Riley.
Here.
Schneider.
Here.
Sofa.
Here.
Shoot.
Here.
Wilson.
Here. All right, non-agenda items from the sideline. We have Jeff Dawsey here from Sage Creek Winery.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everybody. We're looking at doing a fence on the south side of our veranda from the parking lot in conjunction with Tammy from the doghouse. It would be 5.5 feet tall and 14 feet wide. There will be no digging because we're just going to attach it to the existing timbers to make our flower beds. And we just need city council's approval for the building inspector.
Also, Jeff wanted the council's approval before we let him move on. I mean, I don't see that there'd be a problem with it as long as he's following all of the codes and, you know, as far as installing the fence. Any other thoughts?
Where is it going from what point? I don't have
Right, with their flower beds already up.
Flip to the next page, Bart.
How are the lawns?
Go 2 pages in.
To the ground.
Go to
I
it.
believe they're dug in about 4 inches already. And they're secured by rebar. So those things aren't going anywhere.
Okay.
Is that for the fireplace?
No, ma'am, that's for the fence that we want to do in the next couple of weeks.
Well, you get a picture in here of the fireplace.
Yeah, that's the updated fireplace we talked about, I believe, the springtime.
Yep.
So just an updated picture diagram.
Just wrought iron or?
Yep.
Or what
No,
is
the
it?
fencing.
The
Oh,
fence?
that's
That's just wrought iron or some type of?
right. Yes, sir.
Like,
It's not like privacy fence.
Oh, pretty much to cut down on the dust that we get for the veranda.
So it would be more of a privacy,
Yeah.
block
Block the dust.
the
and
dust
all that.
coming from the
So there
parking
is a
lot.
screen or something, I just see bars on there, that's all.
Yeah, so.
So it's going to be a wooden fence.
It'll be a
Oh,
wooden
full
fence.
of solid structure,
I
yeah.
think you're just showing the fence posts and this points, and then you're gonna have, per se, like a stockade fence in between it. Can I get a motion?
I will make that motion to allow them to build a fence along the property.
Support.
Mazer.
Yes.
Riley.
yes.
Schneider.
Yep.
Sofa.
Yes.
Shoot.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Martyr.
Yes. Thanks, Jeff. Comments from city administration. Bart?
There's going to be changes to the agenda. Do you want that? Oh, we're not down there yet, okay.
No, not,
That's
Yeah.
next week.
Nothing at this moment.
okay, our chief's not here. And I did talk to our fire chief. He and Doug Pratt are at Riley Township and Wales Township's meetings, or I guess discussing fire contracts. I thought that we had already approved them.
We approved them, but they have to approve them as well. And I noticed in the Voice, Riley Township, last meeting tabled it. I called Doug Pratt out on it, and he said, well, it's that they just wanted to discuss, or to discuss it. So I hope, it's just routine, I believe.
Okay.
I hope.
All right. Amendment of the agenda.
Kurt,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Parks and Rec.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, Judy. That's right.
So, June 23rd, we set up music in the park. We have playground equipment that's come in. Bart and I are going to get together sometime and put that up. Just a couple pieces, but we were able to get that. And,
Where are you putting it, Judy? Sorry.
right here, right in the back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like balancing beam and then
like pods.
I didn't know if you put it here or down at the park.
No, this,
This
right
one.
here, because this park has nothing and the most kids. So we're really working on, putting more stuff right here at this park. And with music in the park too, I want to thank Eric and Jason for helping me with sponsorships for the band, so thank you for that. And DIA is coming sometime at the end of June to install. They have been held up because the installer had COVID and they can't find any plexiglass. So it was supposed to be the 1st of May, but now it's the middle of June sometime. There's not a date yet, but that'll be coming soon. And we'll have it until October, so that's all I have.
Thank you. All right, remember the
It's Brooke
agenda.
Castillo from the Life Coach School, and today I want to talk to you.
We're going to eliminate number 1 and number 2 in reference to marijuana. And also the union contract, number 5, we're going to eliminate. We're going to add number 9 to, under new business, the annual smart contract.
Support.
No further changes. I make a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
Support again.
Riley,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Stoop,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Smarter,
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
All right, approval of the regular meeting minutes from May 4th and from the special minutes from May 24th, 2021. If we don't have any corrections, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the 4th and the 24th of May, if there's no corrections or questions.
Who was going to present Sofa?
Scott.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Stoop,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Smarter,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Riley.
Yes.
All right, next up, presentation of approval of the May disbursements report of $73,737.93 and electric wire transfers of $9,767.83. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion, and we approve the disbursements for 73, 737.93, and electric wire transfers for 9,767.83.
Support.
Sofa,
Yes.
Stoop,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Smarter,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Next up, communications. Chamber of Commerce, Tammy?
Yes, thank you. Our calendar for June 4th, we will be having the foreign collection for the festival. We will be handing out the pamphlets, so members of the commerce will be on the four corners downtown on Friday the 4th. June 8th, we do have our next festival committee meeting, which is at 6 p.m. at Donut Girls. June 9th is the Chamber of Commerce meeting at 8 a.m. at the Doghouse Tavern. And June 11th, we will be having our car show to raise money, again, another fundraiser for the festival. It's a classic car show under the lights at the Memphis High School football field. Registration starts at 4:30, and the car show open to the public from 6:30 to 10. Memphis Boosters will be having their concession stands. And we will have a 50-50 raffle and everything like that. So we had a pretty good turnout for that 2 years ago, and we're looking to have a good turnout to raise more money for our festival this year.
What was that date for that?
June 11th, Friday, June 11th, the last day of school.
When was the festival meeting?
Festival meeting is 6 p.m., June 8th at Donut Girls. Okay. And then the chamber does have one request that we wanted to bring to the city council. We are asking for backing from the city to oversee all food truck vendors and events that come into town during festival weekend. We are requesting that they be given a festival permit that they would have to display. And if the permit's not displayed, that we could ask for enforcement by police. The goal is not to control what is happening, but rather ensure it is profitable for all the groups involved. So in the past, we've had food trucks that the chamber has kind of scheduled for certain places, and then other organizations brought in food trucks that kind of competed. And we don't have a problem with people bringing in a food truck to raise money, but when it goes against what we're trying to do for the chamber and keep this festival going, that's a problem. Plus, we want to offer all the guests and visitors their first collection. So we know that Lions Club is having a barbecue food truck. We want to make sure somebody else isn't bringing a barbecue food truck to compete with that. So, you know, if a food truck comes in.
We did put in place here a little while back that any of the food trucks that come into the city to do business have to have a business license through the city. So that's part of the regulation right there, so.
But specifically for this weekend, that's what we want to, you know, try to, because the chamber puts on the festival for the whole weekend.
Right.
So we just, it's not that we want to stop anybody from coming in, we just want to make sure that we're aware of everything that's going on.
So
because
you just want to see some enforcement on it, right?
So one thing that I'll add really quickly is, last year I was in communication with you guys with regards to COVID, and we were talking to multiple insurance companies trying to get policies. I carry a $5 million policy to have the food trucks and the markets come into town. That's outside of the chamber policy. The decision was made with city council, with your city insurance company, with your city attorneys, that it just, we couldn't do it because of liability reasons, which was completely understandable. Then the day of festival, all of a sudden this random food truck shows up exactly where, like you guys had said, no, we can't do it because of liability. An unknown organization brought the food truck to town. Nobody knew about it at all. And the same thing happened in 2019. So all we were looking for was to make sure that everybody is covered liability-wise and to make sure that everything is super profitable. I don't want the same thing to happen again this year when I'm trying to promote the Lions are going to have this awesome barbecue food truck here, and all of a sudden there's 2 other barbecue food trucks in town.
So you want to coordinate it, right?
Yeah, that's all we're asking, is that it be coordinated through the festival. I contacted 6 different communities in the area to see how they do their festivals, and all 6 of them told me there is nothing that comes into town that doesn't go through the festival. We're not trying to control it. We're not trying to, if somebody comes to us and says we're bringing this in, that we're going to say no, you can't do it. We're just asking if the city will kind of help us enforce that, because last year I don't know what would have happened liability-wise, because it was exactly where, like, the city had determined we couldn't have any food trucks.
Where was that? Where was that at?
It was right Clock Tower corner.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I remember.
An organization brought them in. They didn't know anything about it, which then puts the food truck at risk because the food truck had no idea.
I guess the only thing that I like the idea that you guys are going to organize it, but like, what kind of power do we have over anybody bringing a food truck onto their private property? If it's private property, we can only enforce it.
The only thing that we have is to, as far as enforcement, is to make sure that they have a
city business license,
city.
right? You know, so the only question I have is if somebody wants to have a food truck on there, we can only enforce public property.
So that was in the library parking lot, or was it on the side of the road?
No, it was on the side of the road where we had had the discussion that we couldn't do it because of liability reasons.
That was due to COVID, right?
That was during COVID, and we had no idea until all of a sudden they were set up, and it was like...
Isn't there, don't you have to have a health,
yeah,
be approved by the
There's
health
different, yeah, there's
department?
different kinds. I believe there's one from the state, which is like an annual, And then there's one from the county, which I don't know if it's annual or not, but I know like the big food trucks have an annual health
We had an
department in the
issue
state.
years ago with something out here that they weren't approved and they got it back.
I do believe you're
Yeah.
correct.
But we also want to increase the communication if,
Right.
you know, because the festival page, we're constantly putting out there, this is going on now, this is going on now. So we want to have, you know, a good knowledge of where everything is. I don't like the feeling like people are asking us what, you know, who's doing this, and we are like, we don't know. You know, when the chamber is kind of overseeing the entire festival.
So what kind of motion would you be asking for here?
Well, doesn't the vendor
Why don't-
just have a police,
you know what?
I mean, just ask.
We don't need to do it
if they're
tonight.
licensed in the city?
Let's get together, we'll figure out what we're gonna do, and we'll bring it back to the next meeting. Does that
Yeah,
make
as
sense?
far as how we're gonna enforce this and, you know, as far as, yeah, we know that you wanna
Right.
organize and you wanna be on
Yeah.
top of it all, which is great.
Yeah.
And as far as enforcement, somebody shows up, then it's one of those.
And we do have some
Contact us,
ideas on that, on how it could be run, and suggestions, so we can discuss that at the chamber meeting next week.
For festival, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea, so you guys know what's going on, I mean, it
Right.
makes sense, so.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, let's see, moving on. Unfinished business. Adopting ordinance 212, an ordinance for registered fees.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay, this is ordinance number 212, amending Title 5, Chapter 51, Section 51.02, adding rated serve fees. The City of Memphis ordains that in this addition to Section 51.02, quarterly fees by meter size are as follows: 5/8 and 3/4 are standard residential fees at $6 a quarter. 1-inch meter will be $7 a quarter. 1.5-inch meter, $19 a quarter. 2-inch meter, $26 a quarter. 4-inch meter, $81 a quarter, and a 6-inch meter, $128 a quarter. And this ordinance shall take effect 10 days after publication. And I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number 212.
Support.
Wilson,
Yes.
Smarter,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Duke.
All right, moving right along. Under new business, number 3, extension of the marijuana time deadline for Frank Hart LLC. Eric?
Yes, sir. So we, there was a little mix-up with the building inspection as far as a, what do I call it, air balancing test. So we actually held them up on the building permit to get the building set up to go. So I would like to make a motion that we allow them a 2-month extension to get all the proper documents and inspections needed in order to comply with the city marijuana ordinance.
Support.
Smarter,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Duke,
Yes.
Wilson.
All right, administrative memo number 5, our budget amendments. We have several items here. We're gonna move some money around. Larry, is there anything you want to talk about on this?
No, just a routine, we're getting near the end of the fiscal year, and Don and I discussed it, and just kind of to clean up things, to get them in line for the year end, so that's what it is. So I'll make a motion that we approve administration memo number 5, budget amendments.
Support.
Mazer,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Duke,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Smarter.
Yes. All right, approval of the police department, purchase 2 new tasers. Did everybody get a chance to look at all of this? So what it is he wants to get We had purchased 2 before, and now he wants to get a couple more because one's kind of like a handoff. So this would be covered out of his operating supplies. Any questions?
It is budgeted. The chief couldn't be here tonight. He had a prior commitment. If there's no questions, I'll make a motion to approve $2,827.76.
Support.
Riley,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Stoop,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes,
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
Right, next up, approval of fire department invoice for $1,330.77. I talked to the chief earlier, he said that it was going to be here. It was one of our big truck, the batteries basically went kaput, and they actually have the thing jumped to get it over the Shelby generator to have them replace the batteries. Can I get a motion to pay the invoice?
make that motion.
Support.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Stoop,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes,
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Riley.
Yes.
Next up, we have an invoice from the city's attorney for $1,280. This is for having them working on some ordinances and a lot of other questions that have been going on. So can I get a motion to pay $1,280 to our attorney?
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Sofa,
Yes.
Stoop,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes,
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
And up next, municipal credit and community credit contract for fiscal year 2022. Jeff?
Yeah, so, good evening, seems like I was just here. Just a little bit of information for council members, because there's always questions about how to make contact with us to get rides. So, municipal community credit program is actually operated under Smart Bus, who we partner with to provide both ride service for people who call and make appointments that need rides, a shuttle that operates between actually Memphis and Chesterfield area, as well as some community events that we do for your recreation department, your seniors when they're reopened, and other groups in the community. So every year, SMART, through some funding that comes from both the state of Michigan as well as the millage that all Macomb County residents pay for SMART Bus, provides these municipal and community credits to the city of Memphis. The city of Memphis this year is allocated to receive $3,178 in SMART credit. We use those credits, or monies, if you will, with your other neighboring communities in order to provide our service. I was looking at Memphis's numbers from last year. We saw, decreases across the board in the use of transit just because of the COVID pandemic. And interestingly, though, in the city of Memphis, the decrease wasn't as large as it was in some of your neighboring communities. Some of the communities saw as much as a 50% decrease in ridership during the pandemic. In the city of Memphis, in 2019, we provided 541 rides. And in 2020, basically during the COVID pandemic, we provided 408 rides. So while we saw a little bit of decline, it wasn't a huge decline in your communities with ridership. While ridership was down during the pandemic, we didn't really take buses off the road. We had the same number of vehicles running most every day as we did pre-pandemic, but the buses were less full. We put maybe 2 people on a bus versus 6 kind of thing when we were taking it places, just so we could ensure some appropriate social and physical distancing between riders. So we were still running all the buses out there every day, just not with as many riders on them. We're also keeping things limited to pretty much what we call essential trips. And essential trips we define as like medical care and treatment, trips to the pharmacy, trips to the grocery, certainly those kind of things that people need to live. But we weren't doing trips to the beauty salon. We weren't doing trips to the airport, which we began doing just before the pandemic, and things of that nature. We didn't have the what I call like the recreational and senior center trips going on, because those groups weren't generally meeting or coming together. During the vaccine drive-through, however, one of the things that I'm really pleased that we're all able to work together on is SMART, dollars from SMART and the millage that you all pay were used to support a lot of this effort, is SMART and its call takers, the folks that, when you call to make your appointment, are really uniquely qualified to call and schedule things. So when we began our vaccine program at the EMS, SMART kind of stepped up and their call takers stepped in and were taking a lot of the calls to make those appointments every day, so that there was more people doing it. The other thing they could then do is, where necessary, arrange rides so that we could bring the folks in that might not have transportation. And so we would have SMART buses arrive with 8 to 10 people on board that would be able to vaccinate them all at once. So it really was a great partnership. And that's, I just like to always share that, because that's where some people say, where do our dollars get used? Well, that's where they were being used during COVID. So SMART played a significant role in assisting with all of that in our communities. I can tell you, as of today, our local transit operation here is back to full service. In other words, we're taking all rides for any reasons, basically. The airport shuttle is back to operating now. And like I say, we're seeing numbers of riders increase as people get more and more comfortable and going out to various, what I call more recreational things or non-essential kind of rides. So we're seeing an uptick in riders just in the past few weeks as the pandemic seems to be waning at this point. One of the things we do run into, and so while I have the community here and the camera behind me, one of the things we are running into is the CDC, which is where we take all of our guidance from, both the EMS and the transit operation, still requires face masks in public transportation. The buses are public transportation, so vaccinated or non-vaccinated, in order to step on our bus, you have to have a face mask on. And our drivers will keep you from stepping on the bus or tell you can't step on the bus without one. So there's some people that push back a little bit on that, and we explain that we're just following the CDC guidance. And for trains, buses, and airplanes, masks are still required in this country right now. So we're not making up our own rules, we're just doing what we're doing, basically. The other thing that I'd just like to mention is the EMS during the pandemic was busy working on a number of other things. One of the things I'm really very excited about is we were able to, through SMART, through our partnership with SMART, we were able to put together some various pots of money that they had access to. And about 3 months ago, we were able to buy a bus like the one that's shown in your package there. It's a much bigger bus. It's kind of a school bus sized bus that we will have within our operation now that'll be available to all of your communities. The vehicle costs $138,000 when we purchased it. And the idea will be that this vehicle will be primarily used for our local communities when they want to do some of their recreational or other trips where they might have more than 6 or 8 or 10 people that want to just ride one of our little shuttles. But in fact, we can send a regular full-size bus out to move groups. We'll have one of them, so it'll be a kind of first come, first serve kind of basis. And so once it's here, we'll be letting the communities know it's here, and it's available to be reserved, for your community and for your use. So we didn't just work on COVID for the last number of months, although some days it feels like it. And so we're pleased that that's on the way. Now that vehicle probably will not be here for this summer, so we will not have it for the festival this year, but maybe for next year. Part of that's just to do with, all aspects of manufacturing right now are slowed down quite a bit due to the COVID situation. And so where normally we might have this bus in June or July, it looks like it'll be, October, November, actually potentially before it arrives.
Okay.
So that's what's going on with that. So this year, real quickly, this year we are requesting, again, your municipal community credits to be transferred to the EMS for a local service in the amount of $3,178. And before I conclude, I just want to reintroduce, I think he's here most years with me, Fred Margaret. Fred Margaret is actually with Smart Bus, and I call him my handler there. He's the guy that from Macomb County helps us navigate the bureaucracy that could be something as large as Smart, and helps us kind of put these pots of money and things together to do these things like get new buses or in fact have call takers, helping us schedule COVID vaccines. So Fred, I don't know if there's anything you want to add. I can talk about this for 2 minutes or 2 days, so I'll keep it real short. Jeff alluded to working with the county health department, and obviously they don't have a call center. So we actually took over 10,000 calls for vaccine. And if anybody tried to call the health department, you probably know you had a hard time getting through. We actually registered over 25,000 people on our website. We took over 10,000 calls, and then we actually transported over 1,000 people, most of them to Jeff's site there, Richmond Live CMS. We did take some folks down to locations in Sterling Heights and other locations as well. But we also did help get a number of our drivers. Actually, me and my wife and kids, we actually drove to Jeff's site to get our shots there as well. But we were helping our other drivers from our location, as well as some Warren drivers and Shelby drivers. Those partnership programs, Jeff got those folks vaccinated for us too. So, but if anybody has any questions, like I said, I could talk about this all day, but I assume you've probably already heard enough.
Any questions, anybody? Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff, thank you. You're welcome. Can I get a motion to the municipal credit and community credit contract for fiscal year 2022?
Make a motion to approve this contract for $3,178/smart credits with Richmond Light CMS.
Support.
Stoops?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Martyr?
Yes.
Mazer?
Yes.
Riley?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Sofa?
Yes.
From the mayor. I don't really have anything. I'm looking forward to having a busy summer here. Nothing else from me, Eric?
Yeah, this should, right? I just want to mention one thing. The city office is currently closed to walk-in business right now. If you have something you need to come to the city office for, please call ahead or send an email over there if that's easier for you. And when do you think we'll be back open?
Monday.
Monday? We'll be back open Monday. That's all I have. Thanks.
Nothing today?
Ken?
No, sir, nothing.
Tommy?
Nothing, thank you.
Stu? Jason?
I have nothing, motion to adjourn.